Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim Aslan here with another crypto update. Guys, what an amazing last few days it's been, especially for altcoins. Side note, I've been rambling way too long in my other videos. I can't tell if you guys like that or if you don't. So I'm going to make this one a lot shorter, and then let me know if you like the shorter, more to the point, or if you like the more in-depth analysis. So Bitcoin really hasn't moved much since the last video. Um, we swept these lows, came up again. Um, the plan I gave you from the last video was actually this right here. It was like this. And as you can see, we kind of front ran that. Um, so what I'm thinking is this still will play out, in my opinion. I just think that it's going to take slightly longer. And so how I think that it's going to play out is I think let me get my little drawer. So first of all, we came up here, then point of control, highest volume node of the range. That held us from dropping down. Then we swept that again this morning. Now we're coming up. So I think what's going to happen is now we have these equal highs. I think we're going to take them out like this. Boom. Golden pocket. And then dump from there. Get down here to the TR pocket. And then at least get a little bounce to this area and potentially be the reversal for a bigger all-time high. If that area down here does not hold, then I think we go to the lower area I mentioned in the previous video, which is the retest of the all-time high area down here. I'm slightly favoring more of a move down here and not to that all-time high area, just based on the structure we're building. But I do want to show you some Elliott wave targets. I know we haven't done much Elliott wave on the channel recently. I still do like Elliott wave and I use it, and I just kind of like look at it with my brain and I can see the waves on the macro at least. But in general, like we've had a lot of choppy, crazy things where I don't really like to use it on anything under the 4 hour. Maybe 1 hour is okay as well, but like look at this. It's super choppy lately. Ever since the BlackRock ETFs started, I've noticed that's when things have been pretty choppy. So let's look at that from an Elliott wave standpoint just briefly. Essentially, I'd have this as a ABC, W, X, ABC, Y, right? And then same thing here, W, X, Y, and then this bigger thing turns into a W, X, Y. Then we get these targets right here, okay? So I'll show you how we can pull these targets real quick. So first of all, let's use our trend-based fib to get this X wave target. And as you can see, there's one, which is a swing failure of this high. And, we've been getting some nice wicks lately. So I do think that this first 618 target would be the rejection one. It'd just be a bigger wick through it and then down. However, if we do go higher based on these Elliott wave targets, we could reject from the 786. This would only play out if there's some kind of bullish news, in my opinion, that like really launches us up here quickly and then down. And so naturally, if I was going to take this short, which I am planning to, I would probably put a stop like that. I wouldn't really want it to go above the 786 too much. And then, you can target these lows. So about a 3R trade right there. Next, I have a friend that he studies Binance order flow. And so he told me there's a big sell order right in this area as well. So that gives us additional confluence. So yeah, that area just, to me, it looks really nice. But then let's look at some downside targets if that ends up playing out. So it would simply be from up here to this low. And then let's say we stop right around that liquidity area. We would have downside targets down here for Elliott wave target wise, which matches the 786. If we go a bit higher to that 786 area, then we have a little bit cleaner of a target, which would take out this low and match closer with our golden pocket area. So once this final push up that I think we're going to get, once that solidifies, then we'll know better. So let's delete that for now. And then real quick on the TR pocket, because this has moved around a bit, I kind of want to move this a bit down right here. Yeah, either here or right here, to be honest, for the TR pocket. I wouldn't really like this one anymore just because we deviated that low already. So I think you can move it like this. And that honestly matches a little bit better with this 786 down here. And just a bit above our previous all-time high. So if you were trading the TR pocket, I'd probably do it like this. And then if these highs end up getting run, I don't think that's the case, but if they do, then this would be the reversal zone for the next retrace down. So that's how I would have it. Yeah, I do like this actually. Check out these liquidity wicks down here. I think we're getting a lot of euphoria that a flush is needed. But this has been quite nice actually. Bitcoin's been going sideways, so if you had any longs on altcoins, you should have done very well the last few days, which is great. So I know I said I wanted to keep this video shorter. We're about 7 minutes in so far. So let's do one or two altcoins and then I'll just end it here. Hey everyone, real quick. My favorite exchange, BitTuneX, is doing a deposit bonus campaign with our YouTube and Twitter. And as you can see, if you deposit just 2,000 USDT, you're getting a 20%, which is a 400 USDT futures bonus that you can trade with. So if you have money lying around on another exchange and you're not already on BitTuneX, I don't know why. BitTuneX is the #1, no KYC, no VPN needed exchange in the world. They have audited proof of reserves every single month. They have 150% of the Bitcoin they need, 110% of the ETH they need, 105% of the USDT they need. So they are fully funded, fully backed, and have the best UI UX out of any other exchange I've ever been on. And I've worked with BitGet, I've worked with Bybit, I've worked with BingX, I've worked with KuCoin, I've worked with every single exchange. I can honestly say BitTuneX is the best and it is my favorite. And right now, if you're not already on the exchange, you can get a massive deposit bonus. So take advantage of that now. It is expiring on August 10th. So I'll leave the link below and make sure you take advantage of that, guys. ETH has been going crazy. So in the last video, I talked about potentially a move down to sweep these lows. And I said, market might just prove me wrong and just go straight up. And that's exactly what it did. Now, the thing is, I did mention a yearly open rejection or this liquidity rejection. And as you can see today, we have gotten the rejection from that liquidity right here. We just swept it and have significantly dumped from that. So this will be really interesting to monitor, especially if we do get a downside move on ETH, or excuse me, on Bitcoin. So I guess how I would approach a potential rejection from here is, we know this is like a strong support resistance level, and I would argue this is the top of the range for this entire downward movement. So I think we could get a retest on that if we are bearish. And another reason why is because from this latest impulse from the low, we can have a golden pocket around that level as well. And if we move it up a bit, matches pretty perfect there. So honestly, I don't have, significant targets yet on ETH that I would say, yeah, this is where we're going to reverse from. I don't really have that yet. However, this is really interesting that we're rejecting from here. We also have this downward trend line on ETH. And so we could just do one final push and hit that before kind of a rejection. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, ETH has been very, very strong. Look at the daily RSI. I mean, very, very impulsive. Currently, we have a bearish divergence on the 4-hour, however. You can see that right here. Bearish divergence is where the new price makes a higher high than the old price, but the buying pressure shown on the RSI does not match that. So you can see there's a pretty big one right there. So one more thing I wanted to look at is I wanted to look at some volume profiles on ETH just because I haven't recently. So this is cool. The value area high matches that support resistance zone. So that's another confluence. If we do go back down to that area, see what happens if I pull from all the way back there. Almost the exact same area. You can see all the heavy volume is below us, which is great. Very healthy. Let's look just in this impulse move. I'm guessing all the volume is going to be right here. Yep, and then another value area high right there. So don't be surprised if eventually we get a retest down to that area. Lastly, let's look at the guy that's been pumping like absolute crazy, XRP. First of all, TR pocket did play out. I know I mentioned that last video. Not the full downward move, right, guys? But at least we got to right around our TP1 on that. If you took the trade, should be a win. But let's get rid of that because it was too strong. Now, this looks super crazy. We just swept these highs right here, but are maintaining above it. This high just got swept as well. That one is maintaining below it for now. But, I mean, I just don't see how this doesn't make a new all-time high. Can get some Elliott wave targets here. You can see that, we're a little bit past this one. The next one is a 1.618, which I guess could be an expanded flat potentially, but it could also just be impulsive and just crush through that as a wave 3, right? I think that is more likely than anything. However, if we look at our TR pocket, we do have a potential downside target right there. And so what I would probably see is something like this, boom, boom, and boom. So let's see how that plays out over the next few days. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I want to end it short, end it right here. I'll post a Doge chart that I was looking at on Twitter, so make sure to follow on Twitter for that. But the main thing here is Bitcoin, and just a little sweep here. Not sure what alts will do during this up and down move. A lot of alts have been pumping, so maybe they'll cool off. Maybe they'll still keep pumping. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.